Alright, so we got some new update from Gemini, and basically now it is possible to generate some downloadable assets directly within the chat window. So according to this announcement, apparently Gemini now can generate some document formats for Google Workspace, such as Google Docs, Google Sheets, Slides, and you can also generate a PDF document, DOCX for Microsoft Word, XLSX for Excel. There is also support for CSV, LaTeX, TXT, RTF, and of course Markdown. And actually there are more formats that you can generate in Gemini. So this is seemingly just a small update, just a tiny new improvement on Gemini, but the implication is actually quite massive. For example, if you look closely on the answer from Gemini when you are asking AI to generate some file formats, you'll see that there is this show code button. When you open it, you'll see that this is basically just a code that was used by Gemini, that was created by Gemini, and it is being executed directly in the chat window, and the outcome is of course the file that now we can preview or download directly to our device depending on the format. So this DOCX document, I can open it, I can see what the document looks like, and I can click this download button to save it directly into my device. Again, this capability used to be not available, impossible to be done using Gemini, and actually the only way you can sort of create a document file directly on Gemini is by utilizing a feature called the canvas mode, where you can open the side window and then you can preview and do some editing for the document. It is actually quite convenient, but again, if you want to save it to your computer, you have to transfer the document to, let's say, Google Docs or Google Slides, and only after that you can download the document from that platform. So it is not exactly straightforward, and that honestly has been quite disappointing, given that many other AI companies like ChatGPT, Claude, and even Perplexity have this feature for quite a long time, and we can ask AI about the format, the file format that we want to generate, and then AI will do it for you. It is very convenient, it is very useful, but again, only recently we got this capability on Gemini. Now, earlier I mentioned that this is just the result of the code execution on Gemini, and I also mentioned that the implication is huge, because with code execution there are many things that you can do. For example, on ChatGPT, I have talked about on how you can use the code execution to crop the file or remove watermark, or perhaps extract frames from videos. There are plenty of capabilities that you can enjoy with this feature. Now, code execution is not exactly a brand new feature. I mean, Google is not exactly not familiar with code execution, because if you navigate to AI Studio, you'll see that they have a feature called code execution. If you, let's say, want to chat with Gemini 3, and then on the right side of the screen you can see plenty of settings, and one of them that you can enable is code execution. And the idea is the same. You can execute some code, you can run some calculation, and because of that it is usually a lot more precise than depending on the answer from AI. So this is again a huge update, and I think I'm going to explore what other things that this feature can generate other than generating these documents. And speaking about generating documents, a lot of documents, a lot of file formats are now supported, but one format that is very common but not yet supported in this new update on Gemini is the .pptx format. So here is one example where I asked AI to generate a .pptx document, and unfortunately I'm not getting that file. Instead, it just created that document in the canvas mode, and if I want to download this as a PPTX document, I want to modify it via PowerPoint, then unfortunately I cannot do that. Sure, there is this download button, but it is actually not going to give you the .pptx document. Instead, it will give you the .pdf document. So presentation in PDF, that's not usually the most natural format. So if I want to get this as a PPTX document, I have to click export to slides and just wait for Gemini to turn this document into format that can be opened via Google Slides, and only after that I can save this document as a PPTX format. So that is very unfortunate, but I think Google will eventually add the support for .pptx very soon, because that is a very popular, very common file format, and it's just strange if Google doesn't have this feature. And yeah, I guess that's just basically a few things that I want to say about this new update. And by the way, if you want to get a specific file format from Gemini, you can just mention it in the prompt. For example, if you want to get a PDF document, then just specify that you want to get a PDF document. If you want to get data, then perhaps you can use the Excel format or CSV in your prompt, and that should tell AI that it should generate that particular file format. And after that, you'll see this button where you can open, and then depending on the format, you can either preview or will download the file directly to your device. So yeah, this is again very exciting, and I will explore more things that perhaps we can do with this new code execution that now available in Gemini. And if you want to see other AI updates in the future, then you can subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn more about perhaps other cool things that you can do with AI, then check out this video, and I'll see you there.